Anime for blondes.
What are they trying to portray?
The previous emperor was like troubled on multiple accounts.
I was on the Apothecary Diaries subreddit. There was this one comment. Did they have a point?
Action!
Hello, I'm Becca.
And I'm Allie.
And welcome to
Anime for Blondes, the girly pop anime podcast for you.
For you!
I did it!
Yippee!
Yippee! Thank you for clicking and watching this video.
You are in the right place. This is a safe place for
Anime fans.
Anime fans, anime girlies. I know sometimes, like, let's be real here. It is a male-dominated space.
It is, and that's why we're here.
Exactly, and we're here for everybody. So it's a safe space for the girlies, the boys, everybody.
Exactly, and that's why I like to specify girls, gays, theys, and blondes, but
boys, you are always welcome too.
Yeah.
I'm personally a man excuser, so.
And I'm not, but it's fine. You're still welcome. Thanks for clicking.
Exactly.
Today we're going to be talking about the newest episode of Apothecary Diaries, Season 2, Episode 9. Right?
9, I think so.
Yeah.
33.
We really got to start checking that before we hit record.
That might be like, a professional podcaster
Instead
thing
of
to
just
do.
Guessing.
Literally. We're saying it wrong every week.
No, it's like we're off by one episode
Well,
every single
that's
week.
what makes it so confusing is if you guys didn't know, we also recap Solo Leveling, and Solo Leveling is one episode ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So it confuses me every week.
That should actually be more of a reminder, because we know there's only 12 or 13 episodes of Solo Leveling.
Ooh, we're in the
I
end
know,
game.
I hate that
3
so
episodes
much.
left. That's actually crazy.
I'm so glad we haven't watched it yet, so we have time to, savor it.
I know.
But that's not what we're talking about this episode. This episode, we're talking about Apothecary Diaries. It was a very complex episode.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
I
A lot
have thoughts.
to discuss. Yeah, I'm so glad. I'm glad you, watched it and, had thoughts about what you were seeing instead of just,
I'm like, what's happening? I need you to explain to me. Like every other week is what you're trying to say?
This week, it's not... This week, we didn't really have a mystery, though, to throw you off. This week was, the solving of a mystery. But before we get to that, it's time for your favorite part of the week.
Yay, the weekly report!
Yay! We're talking about what media we're consuming in our lives and what we're doing with our time.
What we're loving, our favorite things.
These are a few of my favorite things.
So, would you like to start? I think you're on reading today.
I am! I was about to ask you what you're reading, and that's not correct. Okay, guys.
You'll have to save that question for next week.
What am I reading? Okay, I can't emphasize enough that I do not recommend this series, okay?
Okay.
But I started
scared.
it. I'm now on I'm waiting for book 6. So I started a manga, okay? It's called Living Room Matsunaga-san.
She's cute.
It's very cute, yes.
He's cute. I like both of them.
I like them too. It came up on one of my many romance anime recommendations, and the description was roommates to lovers, and I was like, oh, New Girl. Perfect. So I got it, I started it, and, she's a high school student who is living in her very close uncle that she's with, his board house, so he rents it out to a ton of, people, and so...
That'd be my dream as a teenager. That'd be fun.
Yeah, so it's her living on her own for the first time and trying to be mature, and she develops a crush on one of the guys who's already living there.
Ooh.
And he has anger issues, but he's, very sweet and thoughtful and mature. It's, they're also grumpy sunshine.
Okay.
So he's grumpy, she's sunshine.
Love.
But he's also, taking care of her and, helping her, navigate living on her own. So I'm reading that, right? I'm, the second or third book in, and I'm shipping it so hard, okay? And I find out he's not in college. The age gap is one that I do not condone.
What is it?
She's 17 and he's 27. That's bad.
Yikes.
It's bad. It's bad. So, that's why I'm I do not condone, I do not recommend, but I am addicted to it at this point.
Okay, you're just pretending that the age gap isn't...
No, the problem is, though, he literally has a birthday party in one of them, and so it's she's oh, he's another year older than me, and I'm okay, girl. Unfortunately, they are really cute, and I'm in a place right now where, when the guy is taking care of the girl, and I'm I also just want to be taken care of, so unfortunately I can't blame her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, when I was 17, I would have been crushing on the hot 27-year-old in my apartment also. So
I actually wouldn't have been.
Really?
I was like so not into older guys when I was young. I honestly am still not really into older guys, but
I mean, it depends on the guy. I'm usually not, but like that when I was like 17. Did I tell you when I was in college one time? It was like the second day of college. I'm sitting on the lawn. This guy comes up to me. He starts hitting on me. And he's like, how old are you? And I tell him. And I'm like, how old are you? And he tells me. And I'm like, wow, you're like just 1 year younger than my dad. And then he got up and left.
Oh.
He got up and left. And
See,
I
that
never
would be
saw
me.
him again.
That would be me.
So, yeah. So now I'm waiting for book 6. And I'm addicted to it. You know, it does have new girl vibes. There's other people that they live with. There's shenanigans. And it's like, so far it's very innocent where she just has a crush on him and he like is kind of like dadding her. Dad.
Oh.
Oh, okay. That's not how I meant it, but it also kind of is how I meant it. So, yeah. So that's what I'm reading.
Okay, love that.
What are you playing?
Eating?
R.E.
She forgot how to spell report.
I sure did.
It's
What are
an
you
acronym.
eating?
Okay, I always struggle with this one, but I actually have something that I've been loving this week, specifically. I tried a few weeks ago, I went to a pizza place, and it was like one of those like cool, like trendy, hip pizza places, and they have a green goddess pizza that has like a bunch of like veggies on it and like yummy stuff, and I was just gonna get like a normal pizza. I'm still a little picky and like I want to make sure I like something if I'm getting it at like a restaurant,
Sure.
you know? But
you're paying for it.
Exactly. I've never tried Green Goddess, but I've heard such good things. Like everybody, all the influencers,
Yeah,
like
of course.
go to Erewhon and get Green Goddess wraps or salads or whatever. So I was like, I want to try that. I got it. I took a little risk. It was so good.
Okay.
So then I was like, I need to either figure out how to make or order Green Goddess dressing, and I've been trying it with just different things this week. It's so good.
Like did you put it on an actual salad?
I made a bean salad this week. I told you about this.
You did.
And
trying to get me to eat beans.
We won't get into that, you guys, but we're working on her. But yeah, I made a bean salad and I used that as like the dressing on it. It's really good. I made fish tacos and I used that with like the slaw.
Oh, that sounds really good.
It was so good, so easy, because do you know what Green Goddess is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well,
I worked in a sorority house.
Oh, I forgot about I didn't know it was that old.
Yeah.
Wow, you were there before.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's just like a very herby dressing, and it's like creamy. So good. So that's my new addiction.
Love.
And I'm eating it on everything.
Love that. I like that your eating this week wasn't just like a meal. It was like an ingredient.
And just Green Goddess salad dressing is all I've been eating this week.
You've just been drinking it.
Yep.
Ew.
That sounds so gross.
It does.
Even though like I love it. Like same with ranch. Like I love ranch, but the idea of drinking it.
Ew.
Ugh.
That's too much.
Like I eat so much ranch, but the minute I'm thinking about drinking it, disgusting.
It's because it's only good with other stuff.
That's true. That's very true.
Okay. I'm playing Xavier from Love in Deep Space ASMR.
Oh!
Just kidding. I'm not kidding. That is what I'm listening to. But more importantly, no, not more importantly, more broadly, I'm listening to that Hot Pink playlist on Spotify that I sent you.
I mean, it's playing. So, I mean, if you're playing a game.
No, that's the thing. I wasn't playing the game. I just started the game last night. I'm playing, like, listening to clips from the game as audio, like dialogue.
Oh, okay. But you did start playing the game.
I did start playing the game, but last night. But, like, I'm not far enough into it where I feel like I'm allowed to say that I'm playing.
I see,
you know?
I see.
It's like, are you really allowed to say that you're playing World of Warcraft if you played it one time?
Yeah. I'm like, I will claim that forever,
like,
actually. I am a World of Warcraft head. I don't know. I'm a little bit of a nerd. What can I say?
Okay. Well, I don't feel like I can claim that yet. So, I'm listening to the Hot Pink playlist on Spotify. Starting my mornings with it, is like a big confidence boost. You know how on TikTok those girls were like listening to Pretty Girl Rock in the morning?
Yes, that is so me.
And that song is on that playlist.
Perfect.
And so is Popular from Wicked. And I'm now at the point where I can run straight through that song without stopping.
Wow, that's awesome.
It is awesome. I also think paired with that like jacket that I got from Victoria's Secret is also like something about the combination of that song and that jacket makes me feel unstoppable.
Slay, I love that.
So that playlist is just like all good vibes, and I'm also playing the Xavier ASMR, and if you know, you know, and I do highly recommend that. Make sure you're wearing headphones.
Yeah, go play that, you guys, and let us know what you think, and you'll have to update us next week.
And let us, I want to know if you're playing that game, who your favorite is.
Who your main is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, and
awesome.
then what are you, hold on, obsessed with?
I have been, this is very similar, we're on like same wavelength.
We are?
I've been obsessing over a video game.
Yes, you have!
Which is crazy, never thought I'd be the one to say that. But there is a new video game called Split Fiction that came out this last Thursday, and it is by the creators of It Takes Two, which that's a pretty popular one. She hadn't heard about it, so I'll give a quick synopsis of it. It's a really good co-op game that was basically made for like gamer boyfriends to play with their non-gamer girlfriends.
That's really cute. I like that it's designed for that purpose, because that's like such a common dynamic.
Exactly, and it's really this like untapped market. Like they are like magical at it. It is so good. They make it like just difficult enough that it's fun for the boyfriend, just easy enough that the girlfriend can play it. Like it's really fun, and I really loved that game. Like that's probably my favorite video game of all time, which I haven't played a lot of them. So, but the creators just came out with a new one called Split Fiction, and it's a similar premise where it's a co-op and you have to like work together on a lot of things. And they kind of play with genre and like different video game style. It's really fun. And this one is, the premise of it is one girl has the idea of a fantasy world that she has written, like a book, and the other girl has a sci-fi world that she's written as a book. And they get to go in this like little realm where they get to experience their things, and they accidentally have to both go in
they
together.
Experience both of their books?
Yes.
That's so cute.
It's really, really fun, and then they have to, like, you're playing the characters, and you guys have to work together. You don't know each other, so you're, like, getting to know each other. You're learning to work together, and you go back and forth between the sci-fi world and the fantasy world. Mm-hmm. And so it's really fun. I'm loving it. We've been playing it for about 9 hours now. But, like, we've already played it. We played it all Thursday and then, like, all last night.
I know, you were MIA on Thursday.
I'm like, sorry, I'm not going to be texting you back.
Didn't get a peep.
Literally, I was playing that all day. It's so fun. Highly recommend. Honestly, I think if you haven't played It Takes Two, play It Takes Two first, because I think that one is a little more beginner-friendly. I think that one, like, prepared me for this one. I did cry last night because I had a mental breakdown that I was doing bad.
At the game?
Yeah.
Oh, queen.
It was just stressful, and
okay.
I hate being bad at things. I hate
so
failure.
True.
And
so
true. There was like too many hard things in a row, and we had to stop, and I cried.
Like, I'm sorry.
It's okay. That just happens sometimes.
You know what? I'm glad that happened, like, during your game, you know?
I just am crying normally.
I mean, I'm glad, like, there's nothing wrong with crying, but it's just like, I just understand how you're gonna get overwhelmed, especially if you're not used to playing video games. Yeah. I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I can't even fucking play, like, Tetris.
No, literally.
So...
And the thing is I'm like, I'm proud of myself because I'm doing it anyway, even though I'm bad at it, and even though, like, I die a million times, and the game is really forgiving. Like, there's no time that you die, and it's, like, game over.
Now you're fucked.
Exactly. So it's really fun, and it's really good for beginners because I'm able to literally die as many times as I need to get through the stupid path that should be easy in my head. But yeah, highly recommend that. That is what I've been obsessing over the past few days, and even before that, I was like waiting for it. So that's all I was thinking about.
Had a plan.
Yeah, like we've been planning this for months now.
Aww. Well, that's awesome. Good job doing something that's difficult for you.
Thank
we
you.
can do hard things, guys.
Being bad at things is so hard.
But it's also so okay.
Because then you get better at them.
Yeah. Like, we're not some, like, MCs who are just constantly good at everything immediately.
God, I wish.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay.
Anyway, what would you recommend this week?
This week, what would I recommend? I recommend Etsy. Brought to you by Etsy.
Oh, I would always recommend Etsy.
I always recommend Etsy. And the reason why I recommend Etsy is because I'm wearing this t-shirt that I got from an Etsy shop.
Cute.
We wanted to do anime t-shirts this week, and unfortunately I had not previously owned a Fruits Basket shirt. So this is from the Kawaii Syndicate on Etsy. That shop has been around for a while. They have a lot of Ouran High School Host Club and Fruits Basket and My Hero Academia stuff. So this is like all of the Fruits Basket like zodiac animals, and then a rice ball for Toru. And the thing, I haven't been using Amazon for well over a month at this point, and I'm like, guys, unless you like use it to order your like necessities, like your like shampoo and conditioner, or your, you know, like your necessities, and you have an issue where you can't get to a physical store, totally understand, of course. But like, you don't need to constantly be ordering stuff from Amazon, especially right now.
Literally.
Especially when there's small businesses that you can support, and this got to me within a week.
Nice.
Like, it got to me very quickly. Like, you remember having that conversation.
Yeah.
And I, like, literally just immediately ordered the shirt, and then
I thought
got
that you
here.
found it at Hot Topic. I didn't even know you ordered it.
Nope, I ordered it from Etsy. They don't have Fruits Basket stuff at Hot Topic anymore.
Dang it.
They only have, like, mainstream stuff.
I know, but you were there, and
I
then, like,
was there.
the next day you were like, Fruits Basket shirt. I was like, oh.
That, I see how that would happen. I understand. Okay.
But that's why you shouldn't assume.
You know what they say.
Oh, I hate that expression.
Honestly, me too.
I'm good at assuming, so.
Me and Malachi made that phrase funny because he was like, you make an ass out of me and me. And so I was like, so you assume me things. And so that's what we say.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, I'm recommending Etsy. Like, gifts. It's my mother-in-law. Oh my god, it's my mother-in-law's birthday today. I need to call her.
You better call her.
And so like, she prefers gifts from small businesses, and Etsy is a great place to.
Love that.
Because like, you don't have to go out and like find them. Obviously you can, and it's great if you do. But it's like, it's literally just like shopping on Amazon or any online store, except now you're supporting a small business. So
true.
That's what I'm recommending.
So true. That reminds me of this like discourse of the disclaimer that you made that like unless you like you can't go out.
Yeah.
It reminds me of did you ever see the Twitter discourse about people, like someone tweeted being like, it is insane that people order DoorDash so much, like you do not need to be ordering DoorDash. And then it just turned into this whole discourse of people being like, disabled people exist.
And it's like, no, obviously.
It's like, duh.
Obviously, disabled people exist. Obviously, some people need to have things and food delivered to them.
Like, if you're the exception, you're the exception.
Like, we're not talking about you.
Like, the average person does not need to be ordering DoorDash for every meal.
Unfortunately, we did order DoorDash last night. But like, the same, like, you really don't need it every day. Also,
Exactly.
DoorDash is evil with their
Literally
delivery
so
costs.
We ordered Wendy's the other night. It was like $30
for
Wendy's when we have one like 5 seconds away from us.
I know. I was at work and I don't have lunch breaks anymore because now I'm getting off early.
True.
So I, instead of leaving and like picking something up, I now do have to get it DoorDashed. Frickin', I don't even want to tell you the total for one Starbucks beverage.
Oh no.
It was ridiculous. Anyways, what are you treating yourself to?
Treating.
Let's
okay.
talk about something happy.
No, literally. This is a little bit of a twist because it's something I was treated to.
Oh, you were treated?
Yeah.
Oh.
On Thursday when the video game came out, me and Taylor both woke up early, just like naturally, I guess. I don't know why.
Weird.
And the video game didn't come out until 9 a.m. So we were up at like 6 a.m. and we were like, we should get breakfast. So we went to a diner.
Ooh.
And I forgot. We used to do this all the time, like just randomly if we both woke up early, we'd go to a diner. And there is just something so magical about a diner in like the early morning and diner coffee. Like, that is a simple luxury that we do not appreciate enough.
That's actually so true.
Just going to a diner. Like, that's...
We don't really go out to diners very much either, because, I mean, like, yeah, we make food at home, but, I remember doing that more often, like, growing up in, like, my small town where I was raised. There was this one diner that we went to fairly often.
Jim's.
Yeah.
That's where we went.
Jim's? That is?
We love Jim's, yeah.
Oh, okay. We
have one right by us now.
Yeah, when I saw the Jim's that was by your house, I was like, what the? I didn't realize that this wasn't like a one location deal.
No.
But Jim's.
I love Jim's.
If you live in Utah, then you know.
Literally. But yeah, I feel like it's so commonplace to go out to dinner for like when you're going out.
Yeah.
But like, especially if you have an early morning and you can beat the like diner rush.
Yeah.
Especially if you can go on like a weekday. That is like always awesome to just have a day off, wake up, put on like your casual clothes. You don't have to like get ready because it's just a diner. And then you just have the unlimited diner coffee. Oh my god, it's so cozy. I love it.
That is so cozy, especially people like us who love parks and recreation and really appreciate breakfast food.
So true. So true. I love breakfast food.
Me too. Breakfast is literally my favorite meal.
That's the thing. I feel like going out for breakfast is like not a
slept
thing.
on.
It's so slept on. Because literally people are sleeping, so they don't have time to go to breakfast.
So true. So, you don't eat breakfast most of the time.
No, literally.
But yeah.
And the thing is, I had like one chicken tender and
Queen
coffee because I can't eat in the morning.
Well,
but it's
you
the
were
vibes.
Still eating in
it's the vibes and the diner coffee.
Yeah, I get it. The unlimited diner coffee, that will get you.
Yes. So I was treated to a breakfast date at a diner and highly recommend going to a diner for breakfast as a date. It is the best.
I love that. I stand breakfast in this house.
No, seriously.
Okay, that was pretty good.
I know, we are doing way better at being timely.
And now we can talk about what you all came here for, which is our review of the Apothecary Diaries.
Yay! So, Apothecary Diaries, Season 2, Episode 9, Episode 33, like, total.
Okay. You're confident on that?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Because last week was 32.
I love that you can just remember that. Good job.
Well, I make the thumbnails.
You do make the thumbnails.
And sometimes the descriptions, let's be real.
I never...
And sometimes the titles.
Leave me alone. Tonight I have nothing... Apparently I have nothing planned tonight, so I will get them done tonight.
Let's be real, ChatGPT really makes the titles and descriptions.
Yeah, why are you taking credit
I have
for
to
ChatGPT?
I have to put some thought into it.
Alright. Okay, so this episode, Maomao was like basically finishing off the mystery that was assigned to her last week. The Dowager Empress, current Dowager Empress, former Empress, was like, hey, I think I cursed the Emperor, can you look into it?
Yeah.
And your theory was basically correct. Not quite.
Yeah, it wasn't formaldehyde.
No. It's really Malachi's theory was correct. He was like, oh, it's heavy metal poisoning.
Is that what arsenic is?
That's the rock. It was like a heavy, like, metal used to make paint.
Okay.
So, yes.
I mean, that makes sense, because isn't that, like, kind of his, like, job-ish? Like, what is his job? Like, he works with, like, rocks, right?
Masonry and construction.
Isn't masonry rocks?
Yeah. It's not just rocks. It's, like, brick.
But, like, it makes sense that you would know more about that type of world.
Yeah. Well, also, he's just, like, a nature nerd, so he would
exactly.
Just know that
it just makes sense with who he is.
Yeah. Okay. You're like, that's his job, is arsenic.
Arsenic, specifically.
Well, that's the poison, apparently. So, the flashback that we saw before from Jinshi's childhood, when the rock fell... What? This is relevant.
I don't know why I thought you were talking about solo leveling. I was like, wrong show, queen.
It's not the wrong
Their
show,
names
actually.
are just too similar.
They start with a J, and that's it.
They start with Jin.
That's true. You do. Okay. You got me there.
Okay. Reset.
Okay. So in Jinshi's like flashback from his childhood, that like gold rock that he picked up that the Emperor / his father dropped, was the poison rock.
I didn't realize he did that in that flashback.
That he like dropped it and then he picked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then his servant, nurse, lady in waiting, took it from him, because in this episode they say that like they would always take his favorite toys away from him.
So mean.
So mean. I do understand the psychology behind it.
No,
though.
for sure, but still.
And if that didn't, this is just another episode where I'm just like begging Maomao to like do some more critical thinking.
No, like why would they do that? Why would they care?
She's like actively trying not to think about it, and
she's
I
like,
need her to stop.
She's like, Master Jinshi like spent a lot of time here, didn't he? It's like, why do you think he did?
And the nurse is like, why do you ask?
Literally, the nurse, she was instigating.
She
wanted, and she was like teasing Maomao, like she liked him.
Yeah, she was like, oh, so you're very fond of him, huh? And she's
Literally.
like, he's a good boss. And she's like, do I sense something else there?
Literally.
Like, instigating her.
I'm like, HR? Get HR on the phone.
But, I mean, they, both of the older...
I'm like, Boston employee?
Ooh, that's a good fanfic.
No, literally.
There was, like, another TikTok I saw where people... There's this debate on whether Maomao actually likes him or not. And they're like, Maomao's an unreliable narrator. She can't be trusted to, like, think about her own emotions. Because she will think to herself, I don't care about these random people. I don't care about this thing. I'm just trying to focus on me. But the second someone asks her for something, she's in. She's, like, down.
You know who she is? Who she reminds me of?
Who?
Katniss from Hunger Games. She's the exact same way where you read Hunger Games and you're like, she has no romantic emotions.
Oh
and it's
my
just
God.
because she doesn't have capacity for that. Like, she doesn't even know how to think about that because she's so focused on survival.
That's so true.
And that's Maomao's life.
And that's so true. And the reader's reading this and it's like, oh, Katniss is falling in love with Peeta, and she's like, I'm not in love with anybody.
Exactly.
And we're watching this and we're like, Maomao, you're in love with Jinshi, and she's like, no.
No, exactly.
Okay, I love that.
That's so, like, that's exactly how Maomao is.
That is the dynamic. I love that. Good job.
I made a good comparison.
Good job recognizing female character tropes.
Yippee!
Yippee! I don't know. I kind of wish we got to see more of the tea party between, like, among all the concubines.
More? We didn't get to see any of it.
We saw them sitting at a gazebo, and that was it. But I, like, wanted to... They made such a big deal about, like, conversations that could happen. I was like, I want to get the tea. Let's do this.
I guess in reality, it was literally only set up so that Maomao could do this thing.
Like, sure.
So it doesn't really matter what they're talking about.
I guess. So she solves the mystery pretty quickly.
Yeah, so she asks if she can get permission to go in the room, and the lady in waiting is like, I'll figure that out for you. And then the next day, they're going to do that, and Jinshi's there. And Maomao's like, I didn't want this to be such a big deal. Like
why is he here? Like,
Jinshi
this
did
has
not need
nothing
to be here.
to do with him.
Exactly.
But, so he's there too, and he's watching her, and he's apparently doing his nervous tick, tapping his finger.
Girl, why are you paying so much attention to him if you don't like him?
No, literally.
Why do you know his nervous tick?
She's like, oh, that's his nervous tick. He probably thinks he's being so composed right now, but I know how he really feels. Girl, that's girlfriend behavior.
It's literally giving our secret moments
in a crowded room.
I got no idea
about me and you. Like, she knows him so well, and like, that's...
Literally, you know how many people I know their nervous tics? No one.
Oh.
I mean, I probably could tell if Taylor had a nervous tick, but I can't, like, think of one.
Okay.
But it's like, how many people are you paying attention to their nervous tics?
I mean, Maomao is basically Sherlock, so maybe she's special in that way.
That's true. She's like a body language expert.
She's like, yeah, I know a lot about.
She's like, he won't make eye contact. He's not being honest. She's like, you see how he taps his left foot? He's lying.
That's so random.
I know.
Like, why does that mean that to you?
No, I hate watching body language experts, and I hate watching, like, true crime, like, lie detectors. I'm like, I would fail these so bad.
I love those, like, is it BuzzFeed? Who does the, like,
Dude,
celebrity
those
lie
are so
detectors?
fake, too.
They are?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Don't tell me
A
that.
podcast I like, they, like, were gonna hire him.
Oh, no.
And they were like, we'll tell you if he, like, actually is lying. And they were like, oh, yeah, like, he asked me what I wanted, like, the answers to be for everything beforehand.
No, that makes
So
me
they're just
so
all set
sad.
up. I know.
That means the Julia Fox moment was set up, and that's devastating.
Wait, which one was that?
Do I hate men? No. That's a lie. Do you remember that?
Yeah, she totally set that up. Because that fits her brand perfectly.
I know. But that's why that question would come up in the interview.
Man, we can't get him on the pod.
That's devastating. Anyways, moving on. What are we talking about?
Apothecary Diaries.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Maomao's gonna go into the room. She goes in. She notices Jinshi's nervous.
There's paint everywhere, and she's like, did he paint? What if they were like, no?
Just
There's paint all over the
mystery
floor and
over.
a paintbrush. Did he paint later in his life? And they're like, yeah, like, very obviously.
No,
he was
literally. They're like,
painting.
no, we have no idea where this came from. Maomao's like, aha, like, what? She's like, I think he painted. There's paint everywhere.
They're like, where are you
There's
getting
an easel. There's an easel with
It's
a
like
half-finished
open
painting.
canvas.
A half-finished painting of, like, something only the Emperor would have seen.
The servant is like, oh no.
Dude.
Okay.
She feels the wall, and it's, like, really soft. She's like, okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
She's like, this is like more fresh wallpaper, like really soft wallpaper.
And the Dowager Empress is like, he did paint. He gave me a painting, like, a long time ago, and he told me not to tell anybody.
Which, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Weird.
like, okay. And then, is this when it kind of goes into the...
No, so
Okay.
they finish the mystery first, basically. She peels back, she gets it wet first, which, okay, I wasn't sure what she was doing, but that makes sense.
Smart.
She peels back the wallpaper, and there's this big old mural of a bunch of, like, court ladies, basically. And they're, like, young girls.
And
he was painting.
the Emperor's mom is, like, front and center,
Yeah.
and then there's a bunch of young girls.
Yeah. And so
Very
I
beautiful
guess,
art.
Yeah, it's pretty. Fucking weird.
And then Maomao's like, I don't know if the Emperor was a good man or not, but it is sad that he couldn't...
like, just paint
he
for
couldn't,
fun.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Like, yeah, I guess. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. And then Maomao feels it, and she can feel that there's, like, more paintings probably behind it. And so they would just cover it up with more wallpaper.
The room is getting smaller and smaller. Like, the wall is getting so
just,
thick.
like, 1, like, millimeter smaller. So, I guess the idea was that he was crazy and starting to lose his mind, and so all he could do was paint. But they didn't want anyone to know that, even though he was the idiot emperor. So it was and so Maomao's like, yeah, he got poisoning because this yellow color comes from this poisonous rock that for some reason Jinshi had had when he was younger.
No, literally.
Use some critical thinking skills, please. I'm begging you.
I know, she's like, wow, it's really weird that Jinshi would have come upon this.
They're literally laying it
from the
all.
Emperor.
They're literally laying it all out in front of her.
And she knows. She's just like, nah, that doesn't make sense. Like, it's so dumb. Like, she gets it exactly right, and she's like, but that would never happen.
But doesn't make any sense.
Like, girl,
please. And you know what? I'm actually at a point now where I'm like, oh, they're setting her up because they want her to figure out who he is. Now I'm like...
the characters want her to?
Yes. Now I'm like, they want her to learn this.
They definitely all are, like, in cahoots that Jinshi likes her, and they want her to like Jinshi.
For sure. Okay, all I'm trying to say is, we have got, they can't tell Maomao themselves who Jinshi is, but she's so smart. If she figured it out on her own, oh no, there's nothing we can do. She figured it out.
Okay.
So, I told you this before we started recording. Jinshi keeps looking at the Empress, or the Dowager Empress, and keeps referring to her as mom, or my mother. Even in his, like, flashback from when he was a kid, like, that was his mother. Yeah. Maybe he thought, like, the current emperor was his father for a time, but he, wasn't sure why. So, we've been going back and forth. who does Jinshi himself think he is? Because there's evidence that could go either way.
There is.
But the fact that he keeps referring to the Empress as his mother, now I'm on the side of he doesn't know that.
I think I'm on the side, especially because he was raised for the first few years by his real mom, and like in the flashback they show him, but in the flashback they show him like being like having to switch who he's taken care of by, right?
No, the Dowager or the Empress he always referred to as his mother. It's just he thought that who he thought was his father, they later told him that that's his brother.
Yeah, so he knew about his dad.
Yeah.
So
supposedly.
Did the Dowager Empress and wait, no, it's her son.
Yeah, no.
I was like, did they get together?
No, that
they
doesn't
did
make
not
sense.
get together.
No, they did not.
See,
But that's why it doesn't
what's
make
weird.
sense.
Exactly. So I'm kind of the opinion that he knows deep down.
Okay.
But he has just been like in this like universe where the Dowager Empress is his mom for so long that he's just like, this is it, I guess. But I think he knows deep down.
It could go either way. And with the dialogue that someone on the internet pointed out from the first season where he was like, the Emperor should just sire another heir, my thought was he said another heir, it's because until the Emperor does have an heir, Jinshi, as the Imperial brother, he's still the heir. Even if he's not his son, he's still technically the heir right now.
Yeah.
So that's why he could still not know that he's his son.
Exactly.
So, but the Emperor probably knows. I think the Dowager Empress knows.
I think so too.
They haven't clarified. So yeah, she was having another baby later on. But who was that baby's father?
Yeah.
We haven't really clarified that yet.
What if that baby isn't dead? What if that baby, like, still just lives in the palace as, like, a lady-in-waiting or something?
You want that servant girl to be Jinshi's sister so bad.
Well, she wouldn't be Jinshi's sister.
Okay.
But, like, I don't know, just the way she talked about it this episode, the Dowager Empress, she was so interesting to me. This whole dynamic was very interesting.
Yeah, so mystery solved. We know why.
It was arsenic.
It was arsenic.
Or it was something similar to arsenic.
Yeah, and so his body didn't decompose as fast because he was spending a lot of time with it because that Yellowstone he was using for the yellow pigment in his paintings.
Yeah. Gorgeous painting.
Yeah, very aesthetic. Now we spend the rest of the episode basically in the Dowager Empress's perspective.
Yes.
And she's thinking about her childhood. Her older sister was brought in as like one of the official concubines for the emperor at the time. And she was just there as her sister's handmaiden or lady-in-waiting.
Yeah.
And we see not only... Okay, the previous emperor was like troubled on multiple accounts.
Yeah.
So he clearly was scared of actual women.
Yeah.
And so Malachi was like, oh, so that means he's scared of his mother. His mother, like, traumatized him so bad that he's just scared of women.
Okay, interesting.
And, like, that's how she kept control over him. That's why they called him the idiot emperor, and who was, like, completely in the Dowager Empress's control.
Okay. Now... so literally last week, I was on the Apothecary Diaries subreddit, and I was, like, reading, like, people's
Girl, how
thoughts.
are you not getting spoiled?
Well, I'm just looking on, like, the latest episode thread.
Okay.
And so I'm just looking at the latest episode thread and everything, seeing what people say. There was this one comment that got so many downvotes, and I was like, yeah, they're kind of, like, pulling this out of their ass. But now I'm like, did they have a point? And this commenter, their theory was that the Emperor is special needs, and that's why he got along with, like, the younger girls. And, like, obviously that doesn't excuse any of the, like, sexual aspects with the younger girls, but the way he acted, I was like, is that actually true? And they were downvoted a ton and everything, and I, like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this person's insane. Like, no, the Emperor is just, like, a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like, but, like, the way they portrayed him in this, getting scared of, like, someone touching him.
Yeah.
And then, like, just him being, like, super scared, and then how they were, like, the idiot emperor, like back in those
That's
days they would have
true.
referred to somebody that was special needs as that.
An idiot.
And so I'm like, are they actually trying to get that across? Because I saw that comment and I was like, you're crazy. And then this episode happened, I was like, wait
a second. Okay.
So that is not my theory.
Okay, that's someone else's, but no.
Exactly.
Like, I can't say that that's wrong, because from what we saw this episode, I was like, wait, are they trying to make me empathize with a pedophile?
That's what I was so interested. They also, like, showed that the Dowager Empress, like, she was, like, going for it. Which, like, obviously she's a kid.
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously
she's not actually going for it.
But, like, they were trying to do, like, an imperfect victim thing.
That was kind of really weird. That was kind of crazy.
Like, I was watching with Taylor, and I had just gotten through being like, yeah, well, the Emperor, like, because Maomao was feeling bad for him about not being able to paint. And I was like, yeah, I feel so bad for him after he, like, made this girl pregnant at, like, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I told Taylor this, and then it immediately goes into that, and Taylor's like, okay.
So, maybe she just saw an opportunity to make him feel better. I don't know.
The way they portrayed it was weird. Like, they actually portrayed it like she was, like, scheming as this, like, child.
But that doesn't make... That's not consistent from, like, what we knew about her already. It was that she hated him for...
Well, and that's what's weird, is that they kind of threw in this extra, like, she was devious behind the scenes.
Yeah. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe it's like she's still a child, even if she, like, was like, maybe he'll like me and I'll be the Empress. Even still, when you're a child, that doesn't...
The thing is that it's like, that's already how I felt, and then I'm like, how am I supposed to feel after what they just gave me? Like, what are they trying to portray? Because that just had me, like, really weird, like, uncomfortable and, like, confused.
A really complicated, interesting dynamic.
Like, because I was feeling bad for her, and then it's, like, almost like they were like, you shouldn't feel too bad for her. I'm like, what?
On International Women's Day?
No, literally.
Oh, happy International Women's Day, guys!
Happy International Women's Day to all who celebrate.
This podcast is for you.
Exactly.
Anyways.
But yeah, that was just a really weird...
Interesting choice.
I know. I was like, I do not know what they're trying to portray to us.
And it sounds... Okay, and so as soon as she ages up, as soon as she becomes, like, an actual woman, he is, like, terrified of her.
Yeah.
And so she's, like, in his room as his wife, is pretty normal, and he's terrified and he's scared, and she's like, oh, you're scared of me now because I'm grown and I'm not a child. I can't just be one of your victims anymore.
Yeah.
So...
And then she's like, and I terrorized him all night. I'm like, bet.
Slay.
But, like, okay, this is taking a weird turn.
And so I'm confused.
No, literally.
So, and then she is like, I can't believe he didn't like me anymore because I wasn't a little girl. All he wanted was little girls. And then she realized that, so she and Jinshi end up having a conversation where he's given back the rock. He's not touching it with his bare hands because it's poisonous.
It's a little tissue.
Yeah. So he's talking to her again, and he's got the rock in a tissue. He's not touching it with his bare hands. And he says, yeah, you used to be really partial to this color. You used to wear it a lot. I think that's why I liked this stone. And then she looks back at the painting where the main woman in the painting, who's taller than all the other, you know, characters in the painting, is wearing that yellow color. So she thinks, is that me? Was that not his mother? Is that actually a portrait of me?
Okay.
Because he painted it, like, fairly close to his death.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So, I don't know where the show wants us to stand on these things.
Don't know either.
Here's what my heart and soul are telling me.
Okay.
He still sucks.
Yeah.
She's still a victim. I don't blame her for anything. And maybe he got attached to her because she did give birth to his child. So, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Nothing, like, even if he was, like, traumatized by his mother or, like, special needs, it doesn't really excuse the behavior or the fact that all the adults around them and the adults who are, like, selling her off, because she's like, yeah, my parents used it to their advantage, that I wasn't really a woman yet. I just got my period early.
Yep.
So that's actually their fault.
No, oh, for sure. Like, there are so many people that failed her, and if she was, like, coping by being a little devious and having, like, some control over her life, then, like, that makes sense.
Then slay.
And is completely valid. But I just am so confused at, like, what the show wants us to feel. Because I did not expect this. Like, they already had us, like, villainizing him perfectly, but now they're, like, kind of playing, like, imperfect victim, imperfect villain.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess, if we want to humanize him.
If we wanted to, I didn't really feel the need to.
I thought we were good, but I guess.
So, but, you know what, person on Reddit? No, you're not.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have been downvoted. Let her speak. You will not be silenced anymore. I'm gonna go back to that comment.
Actually, can we put that in our should we put that on our Instagram carousel? Just like the screenshot of that conversation?
I'll see if I can find it, yeah.
Okay. So the last, like, really cute part of the episode is it's, you know, that same conversation between Jinshi and the Dowager Empress at this point. And we kind of talked about it a little already, how she's like, oh, you're very, like, partial to that apothecary, aren't you? And he's like, what?
Like, what are you talking about?
She's just very useful.
Yeah, like,
they're doing the same thing. They're both of these older women are, like, seeing how they actually feel.
They're working together.
And probably.
Yeah.
And, you know, Maomao's like, no, he's a good boss, and he's like, she's a good employee.
Literally. The
She's
boss and
very
employee
useful.
dynamic.
That's actually so hot. And they're actually only 1 year apart, so it's age appropriate. She doesn't know that.
I mean, there is still a power dynamic.
There is, and that's that thing that person on TikTok was talking about, is because of the power dynamic, because of the difference in their classes, Maomao is, like, coping, or not coping, but, like, she's not even letting herself entertain the idea.
Yeah.
Because of the differences in their class. But it's still in that way where it's very, like you said, Katniss, Everdeen, like, cope, like.
Exactly. Like, we can tell she likes him, and she's like...
And everyone else can, too, apparently.
And she just, like, isn't in that mental state of mind.
No.
Like, she's not thinking of romance at all. It's not like she has a crush on someone else.
No, she only, and ever since she kind of has a crush on Gauchman.
Yeah, but even then, like, I don't think she sees it as a crush.
Probably not, just admiration.
Yeah.
But ever since the beginning of the show, she's always viewed men as customers.
Yeah.
Or as a way to, like, get money, or as a
means
threat.
to an end.
Or as a threat. And she doesn't realize that his affection for her goes beyond just, like, him being a good person.
Exactly.
Because she brought it up before, how whenever he hears the story about how she was captured and sold off, he gets sad. And she doesn't understand why he gets sad.
Yeah.
And it's not just because he's a good person, which he is. I didn't like... It was kind of disturbing to me how similar the former emperor was to Jinshi and how they did that match cut.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. That made me feel icky.
Well, and the way they did it, Taylor, who hasn't watched every episode, so he doesn't really know a lot of what's going on, he was like, oh, is she getting the hots for him? And I was like, well, that's his, like, mom.
So, no.
Like, but not his mom, but, like, his mom for all intents and purposes. So, no, they're not trying to show that.
No.
But, like, the way they showed it was kind of odd.
It was kind of weird. I didn't like it. It made me feel icky.
Like, what is this show trying to show us in this episode?
I don't know.
It was a very interesting episode. We got a lot of answers. We got a lot of, like, little romance, like, moments.
Yes.
But it was weird. Like, I do not know what they're trying to get me to think and feel.
I think with that last, like, the match cut showing the Emperor fading into Jinshi, I think that's just more Jinshi's gonna be the Emperor foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's just weird because it's like, that's not even his dad.
No, it's his grandpa.
Like...
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't understand.
I'm like, is it actually his dad now? And we've been, like, fooled
this
whole time?
We're not wrong. We're not. They spell it out to us in the middle of season 1.
It's so confusing.
Maomao is like, what if these babies were switched? Jinshi looks an awful lot like Lady Aduo, like, they spell it out for us without confirming.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't do that for no reason.
I know. It's just so weird.
It is.
This was a weird episode.
This was a weird episode. I liked it. It definitely progressed the story along.
Yeah, like, I enjoyed this episode, like, maybe the most out of the last few. But,
really?
yeah, like, I felt like there was something big happening the whole time. It really had my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I watch these, like, as soon as I wake up with my morning coffee, and sometimes it's hard for me to, like, fully process, yeah, because I just woke up, but this one had me, like, focused. So I really liked the episode. I just am, like, so curious at, like, where they're going from here and why they want me to think and feel how they're trying to make me think and feel.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I didn't need to know that the Dowager Empress had a devious streak.
Or, yeah.
But is she gonna be devious in some other way? Or is it, like, she also, in her story, kept talking about how, like, there was a young girl that, like, lived in the palace that, like, still is here now, probably. And just, like,
Wait,
it was kind of...
what?
Yeah, and it was just kind of, like...
I missed that.
I think it was when she was talking about how he started seeing, like, other younger girls.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, yeah, and, like, they're still just somewhere in the palace. Like, so I was like, oh, is there, like, some other secret plot?
Huh.
Like, what's going on here?
I don't know. Maybe that was the one lady-in-waiting who tried to kill Jinshi.
Maybe.
And is gone now.
Maybe this is one that we need to watch when it comes out in dub.
Oh, certainly. Absolutely.
I was a little confused.
You know what just came out in dub that I saw this morning? Or I haven't watched it yet, but I saw it was out. It's the trial in the temple episode.
Ooh,
yeah.
That'll be a good one to watch.
I know, I'm very excited.
Because Jinshi's all nervous.
I know, I'm excited for that one. So yeah, definitely gonna need to give this a rewatch, especially when we have more context. The next episode, it looks like they're completely moving on. They're starting a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like, I don't remember, but they were showing a lot of the purple-haired girl again.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I think her name's She something. I don't know. I'm sorry to this day.
Red flag.
That's embarrassing.
If you guys watch our solo leveling recaps, you will understand.
I was really excited to talk about the next episode because I thought the preview was interesting. I want everyone's identity to be out in the open and revealed.
Me too.
There's several hidden identities going on in this show, and I just want it all out in the open.
Yeah, let's all just be honest with each other. Let's be honest about our feelings for each other.
Let's be a little more self-aware.
Yeah. Honest with ourselves.
It does drive me crazy how everyone around Maomao is giving her all of the pieces, and she's literally just not putting it together. She's like, wow, that's a nice puzzle. It'd be cool if someone put it together. I'm not going to do it.
No,
but
literally.
Someone should.
Speaking of puzzles, I did a puzzle this week, and there was a piece missing.
No!
And it was an edge piece. So the whole time we were like, wow, we just missed an edge piece when we were going through. Like, you know, sometimes you just miss it. No, we finished the puzzle. No edge piece to be seen.
Did your cat steal it?
I don't know. It was a brand new puzzle from Barnes & Noble. I don't know where it went.
It's a Japanese garden.
We looked under the couch. We looked in the blankets. We don't know where it went. So, I understand Maomao having
She's just missing the one edge piece.
Yeah.
And it's just ruining the whole thing. She's like, I can't tell what this is.
No, literally. She's like, what is happening here?
That's so funny.
She can't put the last piece together.
And it's just ruining the whole picture.
And I'm so curious what will happen that will be the final straw.
I'm convinced it's her realizing he's not a eunuch, and then everything's gonna make sense suddenly.
Interesting. I feel like I maybe saw a little bit of a spoiler.
Okay, wait, I wanna know what you saw.
I don't know if this is, like, actually it.
A spoiler?
But it was like a manga, or not manga, but like a picture of the graphic novel.
It's a manga.
I thought that these were like light novels or something.
Light novel and then manga.
Oh god, they're both?
Yeah, it's both.
Okay. Well, it was a screenshot of the
manga panel.
Sure. And it was a frog scene, I think. But I clicked on it, and then I, like, clicked off of it really quick. And the only thing I saw was, like, someone in the comments was like, what else would she be feeling other than the frog? And so I'm like, is she gonna somehow feel him against her? And that's how she realizes that he's not a eunuch?
God, I'm so excited.
Is that gonna be the frog scene? Have you seen anything about it?
No.
Okay.
Every time I just see, like, a Jinshi and Maomao edit, just the comments are always, like, frog emojis or talking about the frog.
That's the thing, I'm like, is that what it is? Because I clicked out of it so quick because I didn't want to spoil it for myself.
Yeah.
But that's, like, all, I saw that the graphic was, like, about, it said something frog and had, like, a picture of a frog. And then the comment was, like, what else would it be other than a frog Maomao? Or, like, something like that. And so then I was like,
oh my god.
And then you saying that, how is she going to realize he's a eunuch? That, like, clicked in my head. Maybe something happened, they're, like, in a creek.
So there's frogs just around?
Yeah, like,
yeah, okay.
They're in a creek, they're naked for some reason.
They just decide to go swimming in the creek naked together.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen
That doesn't
there.
sound like them, but yeah, I'm convinced all she needs to figure everything out is to know that he's not actually a eunuch.
I do wonder if the frog scene is gonna be what, like, tells her he's not a eunuch. And I don't know how. I don't know where, when.
Be.
But we know that there's something spicy or something exciting about the frog scene.
You know what? I'm excited for that. I want
When
that
is it
now.
going to happen? Is it going to be like 5 seasons in the future, or is it going to be this season?
This is it's not a 12 episode season like a lot of anime is.
Mm-hmm.
This is 4 episodes?
But I've also been seeing a lot of discourse about how this is like such a slow burn, and even like in the actual novels, like they're
just barely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm nervous.
I think a really good slow burn can have a really amazing payoff.
It can.
Or
it could have no payoff at all, and I'm
piss
terrified.
Me off right now. I think the fact that it is slow, but we really are enjoying, or I am really enjoying, I can't speak for you.
Yeah.
I really am enjoying just
you.
like the little crumbs that we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like thirsty for more. So
I would like a little more.
I would like a little more too. The episodes where he's not in it or he's barely in it, I'm like, come on.
I know.
What are we doing with our screen time?
I just would like, I don't know, I want her to like be his date to something because they like are forced to. Like he needs like a random girl to be his date for something. Like so I'm thinking of how other shows do it. I'm thinking of how like Disney Channel shows do it, where it's like still very like pure and like, you know, like it's still appropriate. And it's always like they need a date for prom, and so they go as friends, and then it's like romantic. Or like they end up kissing like for something. Like I need something like that. It can still be innocent.
So the episode when they went out in disguise was big for you, huh?
Yes. And just like little things like him giving her his hanky.
Oh my god, she traded it away!
I'm pissed at her.
So, I don't know. The fact that they both had other characters pointing out their feelings for each other gives me more hope that we're making more progress. If other people are noticing and they're interacting outside of work.
Yeah, it feels like last season there was like barely anything. It was just us, the audience, seeing it. Yes. Now they're finally starting to like acknowledge it in universe, which that feels good. Oh my god,
when she was, I'm sorry, to go back, when Maomao was looking at his box of toys, of his favorite toys that were taken away, it was so cute. She was smiling. She was smiling hearing this story about him as a kid, and I was like, why are you smiling, Maomao? Why are you so happy? What are you so happy about?
She is so sweet, and also she is so cute with her like makeup. I want to see her done up more.
Yeah, that was really cute.
She's so pretty.
That's the problem, apparently.
Yeah.
So...
But she could be pretty for Jinshi, and she'd be safe.
I know! Okay, so I'm excited for next episode. I do feel the same way you do. I do want a little bit more. This was a weird episode.
But good.
But good. But good. Usually they are.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's all I got.
I know, that's the episode.
That's the episode. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any thoughts on that Reddit post?
Yeah, and again, I'm like, don't get mad at me.
It's not Becca's theory,
like, don't
guys.
cancel
She
me,
got
please.
it from Reddit.
But like, I did find that interesting that I had just like stumbled upon that, and then this like I was like, this person is reaching.
Yeah.
Like there's no evidence of that. And someone had even replied and was like, there's no evidence of that. And then like this episode happened, I'm like, wait
a second, maybe there is.
That is an interesting thing, because also why did his mom like take so much control? Like so many things. Anyway, I won't get into it, but let us know what you think.
Tell us in the comments for this week's poll, does Jinshi know his true identity?
Does Jinshi know?
Does Jinshi himself know? Because we're pretty sure other people know, but does he? Who does Jinshi think he is?
I'm going to put 3 options on that poll, and I'm going to put he does know, he doesn't know, and he knows deep down.
Okay, I love that.
Because I think he knows deep down.
Okay.
But that's kind of both.
Yeah, that's true.
So you let us know. I'll put the poll on Spotify, and then you can let us know in the YouTube comments. Maybe I'll make a poll on Instagram. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Anime for Blondes Pod. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers on both by the end of the year.
Yes.
And make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. We see you on Apple Podcasts.
We love you, our Apple Podcast listeners.
I listened on Apple Podcasts this week.
Wow.
I did, because I felt bad about
You wanted to know
Apple
the user
Podcasts.
experience.
Yes, exactly.
We love you. We love you.
Thank you. And if you like solo leveling, we do solo leveling reviews on Wednesdays. And then new solo leveling episodes come out on Saturdays, and new Apothecary episodes come out on Fridays in time for a review on Mondays. So you have the whole weekend to catch up on both shows before reviews come out.
Perfect. I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you for watching. Bye!
Anime for Blondes.